So, yeah, it's all set up, it's all raring to go. Welcome back for anybody watching this new, for anybody watching this now, for anybody watching this later, for ultimately anybody watching this. Hello, I am Callum Richards. I am the host of owner of CI Socials. So, this is the first time watching one of these videos. Welcome. If you've seen them before, then you'll know that the main point of these is to talk on the trending topics within the social media marketing world, exactly what is going on, what other big brands are doing, how you can replicate it within your content, within your business, what with this ever fast growing world of AI, what's good of AI, what's bad of AI, how can you be using it within your content, and just the general way you can position yourself on social media to ensure that you're not just another brand pumping out a load of, I don't want to use the term AI slop because I am sure that nobody's pumping out AI slop here unless you're running like some sort of faceless account, or if you're a Sasquatch, is it, the Bigfoot? So we'll dive straight into it today. The three key topics we'll be touching on is the human creativity versus AI. What's more creative? What's more trustworthy? Are people slowly but surely starting to get to the point where they can tell the difference? Not necessarily just in the video, as we spoke about last week with Sora 2. That's getting way more difficult. That is getting a lot harder to tell the difference between a real video and a fake video. But the creative behind it, the idea behind it, are people starting to tell what's been completely AI generated, what's partially AI generated? Are they starting to have a scale on it? And that sort of thing. The Go Social First is a big brand, especially here in the UK. It has changed how it's positioning itself with social media, from it being like the last point of call to literally the first point of call, the top of funnel, if you will, to attract more customers, to build its brand, and how exactly you can be doing the same thing. I cannot pronounce that name, unfortunately, my friend. I have absolutely no idea how to go about that. But this is just a live on the social media marketing side of things, the top trending topics that's going on at the moment, latest headlines, and how you can apply it to your content and to your brand. And the final one will be the testing phase. How can you go about testing? You'll always hear the saying, test, but what do you test? How do you test? What's the best things to be testing? How do you track your testing? And what are other brands and other social media sort of personalities recommending? And ultimately, how do I do it for more clients as well? So we'll dive straight into the human creativity versus AI. Now, we all are starting to become a lot more aware of how creative AI is. The models that we've got, looks at ChatGPT, and we'll go with that. How sort of creative they're starting to be. Like I say, the likes of ChatGPT, the likes of Claude, the likes of Grok. There's plenty of models that are out there that are coming into play and people are starting to use. How's it going, Carlos? You're old. And we're starting to see a lot more people being open about using AI. We're seeing a lot more brands being open about using AI. And we're just seeing more people in general being aware that this is something. I believe it's around 700 or 800 million active users ChatGPT has got now, which is, you're closing in on that billion mark. You're closing in on like a seventh of like the world's population. How many of them have access to a computer? How many of them are adults and are going to be actively using it? So we're seeing a massive push on AI now. Hello, welcome Ananya from West Bengal. Hello, Sahil. If I would butcher anybody's names, I do apologise. I try my best not to say it completely wrong. What's it live about? So this live is about, for anybody new that's just joined. I should really give it a bit of time. I'll get used to it. But these lives are basically me talking about social media marketing, the new systems that are coming in place, the new headlines, what some big brands are doing, what some tactics are or strategies are that you can use. I'm definitely not Justin Bieber, I can tell you that, man. Some tactics that you can be using when growing your channel, whether you're growing it for views or whether you're growing it for the monetization side, you're growing it for your business, your brand, whatever it is. And I'll just touch on the main talking points. I host these 2 times a week. One, it allows me to do a bit more research. It allows me to get in front of the camera, speak a bit more long form content rather than just doing sort of, as you guys probably see, short. I think I'm posting up 4 to 5 shorts a day. an insane amount of written content and that sort of thing. So it's a chance for me to step back for a minute, see what's going on, do a bit of more research while speaking to you guys, and then of course answer any questions that you have along the way. If there's any tactics, strategies, questions, that sort of thing that you'd like to ask somebody who literally eats, breathes social media marketing, has worked with multiple brands in multiple different niches, and yeah, got relatively decent results and learned how to monetize in multiple forms on social media. So I guess I could start with a little bit of a background. I've made money via monetization through lots of YouTube. My name is Callum Richards, and I am the owner of that CR Socials, which is my social media marketing business. And so, yeah, so a little bit of background on me. I've learned to monetize on the likes of YouTube. I've monetized on Facebook. I've monetized on TikTok, and I've also done affiliate marketing. I've done client acquisition. I've done growing groups. I've done pretty much majority of ways that you can grow and monetize on social media. I have at least some degree of expertise within that one. Newlyweds upstairs. Gutted for you, Rick. You may as well stay on the live, man. May as well stay on the live and listen to me ramble on about everything that's everything that's popping within the world of social media, man. Grow your brand, start editing some videos whilst you can't sleep, my friend. So I jump back into this. So again, I'm gonna state this quickly. I'm relatively new to doing these lives, and I'm trying to test different ways of doing them and different formats and what you guys want to know, blah, 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 blah. And I do feel like a lot of the time I get all over the place with it because I want to try and stay up to date with everybody who's coming into the chat, because I want to make sure I'm engaged with you guys, because I appreciate your time. Like, there's millions and millions, if not billions of pieces of content being posted every single minute, and you guys have took the time to listen, watch, and some of you guys even, like and comment on my videos. So I truly mean this when I say I appreciate you. So I want to make sure that I'm engaging in the chat. At the same time, I have got a structure to how I want to go about things that I want to talk about. So I might need to start watching more and more lives to see how those guys do it, because I've done podcasts before and I've listened to podcasts, but it's a very different structure because it's usually a back and forth conversation and you're like a fly on the wall when you listen to something like that. Whereas this, you guys are actively part of this video, you're actively part of what I'm talking about. You can sort of dictate the conversation and dictate the content however you see fit. I've got a structure, but if you guys ask me questions, we'll stick to the questions and go down that route as well. So we make sure. Unfortunately, my friend, I am from Birmingham, which means we've got a very thick Birmingham accent, and it may be difficult to understand. Again, this is something I'll look to improve, maybe pronounce my words a bit better, maybe talk a bit slower. That's one thing I've been told, is I do tend to talk quite fast. I think because it's a live and there's no verbal, there's no audio back and forth. I hate the idea of the silence, because I don't want you guys to, I don't like the idea of someone swiping it, just going dead. So if you're not interested to help, by all means, my friend, like, no obligation to stay or anything like that. This is, of course, as I say, if you've got questions around about social media, if you've got questions about growing a brand, if you've got questions about, even things like AI, feel free to drop them in the chat. But can you do a backflip? Backflips are understood universally. I cannot do a backflip. I am like 6'2". If I try and do a backflip, I'll headbutt the floor before my feet even get in the air, to be completely honest with you. No backflips. And yeah, no problem. I try and do a backflip, but it's not going to end well. And then you guys are just going to see on a live a girl going to hospital. And then my camera will just stay there because there's no one to take it for me. So see you later, Sahil. Appreciate you stopping by, man. So my age, I'm 28. Recently just turned 28. So I've got around about 3 years experience within the online space. I've been posting my own personal stuff for the past year, but I've worked with other brands, other businesses, that sort of stuff for 3 years. 10 backflips on this channel, but genuine and honest host. There you go. That's my new tagline. I might even change it to that. 0 backflips, 100% honesty. That's how you want it. That's how you want it. That's good marketing, man, boy. I like it. And welcome, of course, to the chat as well. I don't know if I said hello. So this is what I mean. I want to make sure I'm engaging with you guys, because you're here, you're spending your time, you're spending your Friday night, or Me and my cousin, sister both are watching your live. I appreciate you and your cousin, sister, both watching your live. I appreciate anybody watching the live. Doesn't matter whether cousin, sister, whatever. I truly appreciate it. CM Kingdom 6, 7. Hello, how's it going? Sorry, anybody else find that a bit of a weird trend? I'll come across that meme randomly. I've got an AI agent that runs like a trend check because of one of my clients. I'm not even going to mention what I was talking about then because this just goes to prove the point. But yeah, come across that 6-7 trend and I could not understand it for the looks. Just could not get it whatsoever. Like where it come from, what happened. And then I saw an interview with the guy who it was actually about, and even he was like, I just went viral. I guess that's something that I might look at doing. Like trend reaction, how businesses can start using it within their accounts. You know, nah, no chance, my friend. I barely know English, let alone Bengala or Hindi, my friend. Nah, definitely not. Anyway, I gotta go, but keep up the good work. Get practicing on that backflip, and I'll check in a bit. I appreciate it, Moon, but I don't know how far I get with a backflip, my friend, because I'm getting older now. I might break my back whilst I do, but I appreciate you stopping by. All right, guys. So, human creativity versus AI. What's winning? So the big thing is with this is there's a brand called WPP that is regardless of spell. I like it, man. Well, that's mean. WPP has made a massive deal with Google AI in order to sort of make ads faster. Now, the problem that I always personally see coming with this, when we start looking at AI generating ads, is how similar are these ads going to start being? How repetitive are they going to? Because as soon as one brand highlights that a certain style works and a certain prompt works, and these prompt engineers are going to be, it's not like you've got a marketer or a video editor who's got a style for your brand and is set it in. Like these AI prompt engineers, it's not going to take them ages to source this sort of stuff out, especially if they're putting in the reps every single day for brands and knowing how to create ads that actually convert. So how many ads will get pumped out by AI, and then all of a sudden everything looks the same because they're going to follow the same script. Now, I know you can say the same when it comes to human ads, is because the ads that you see on Instagram, on Meta, a lot of the time they can follow the same likeness, but you've still got the personality there. You've still got a different person. And I always say to people, when I see a lot of faceless accounts and when I see a lot of faceless brands, is if you're offering the same service, say you sell chairs, if you've not got a face on your account and you sell chairs, I've got a face on my account and I sell chairs. We both sell chairs. We both sell the same quality chairs as far as the customer knows. Our price is the same. Our websites are similar. The biggest unique selling point there is going to be me. I'm a person. They're going to trust a person over just a faceless brand. So I think bringing in that human touch, and you'll notice this across all the biggest brands, like X is massive, and Tesla's massive, and SpaceX is massive, but who's massive that's connected to all of them or owns all of them? Elon Musk, who's an incredible marketer. Can I just add on to that? But you'll notice that over the past couple of years, all the biggest brands have never just focused on Facebook. Look, Facebook's never just been Facebook. Meta's never just been Meta. There's always a face and a name to it. So trying to distinguish that and trying to put in almost like a human check to make sure that when your ads or when your content is being pushed out, is there a way that you can add in, whether it's somebody like, a cousin, a friend or whatever it is, or it's somebody who's really good with AI, is there a way that you can run this by them so they can do a human check to see, you've got all these check marks now, like, yeah, this is AI generated content, this is AI generated content. We still want that human feel. You still want to see that human feel. There are people out there who, very tech savvy and will trust AI and trust the videos that are being created and content that's being created. But there's still going to be those people that want the human interaction, that want that human touch. And that's where I do personally believe that the human creativity and the way that we psychologically understand each other, can speak with each other, know how other people would feel within the same situation, are going to be AI. And that's how I see marketers taking that on. So a quick win that you could test out literally this week before my next live is coming up with an idea. you know, you could get AI to come up with the general idea, and I don't think there's a problem with that. If anything, it stops the procrastination, the overthinking, and just puts a bog standard, say, list of 10 ideas right in front of you. But you could post AI generated idea, human generated idea, and see which ones are performing the best. And if you do this like split test over a long enough period, so you could do it on multiple platforms. There are softwares that will repurpose it onto other platforms for you, or you could manually post it. I'd always recommend personally, whatever your main platform is, manually posting, trying to keep all of it as in-house as possible, just to give you that fraction of a percentage more traction, that fraction of a percentage more credibility almost with the algorithm, because he knows, oh, okay, he recorded it here, he edited it here, and he posted it here. But you could run them side by side, split test, post 2 a day, post your AI one in the morning and your human one in the afternoon, and then do the same and switch it around. And you could split test those 2 ideas to see, okay, this idea was AI, this script was AI, the overlays and the music choice and all of that was AI, and this was all human. If you notice an insane difference, then obviously you've got your answer there. If you start noticing that there's certain things that pick up a bit better. So what I would tend to do when I write hooks or topic ideas with AI is I'll get it to generate them, but then I'll tweak it, because again, I'm not sure if any of you guys have tried writing hooks with AI. Now, sometimes you could make 100 hooks and they're genuinely, there might be about 5, max 10, that are solid. The solid hooks that work really well, especially within the niche, because they call the people out. Again, depends on what you're aiming for, whether you're aiming for views, monetization, engagement, that sort of thing. But some of the ones that they pump out for, especially when it comes to marketing and pitching it to your ideal client, they're quite good, because I'll literally call it out straight away. If you're looking for florists, within the first sort of 3 seconds, it'll include something floral related, so you grab them straight away. If you want chocolate makers, it'll include something along those lines. So in that regard, it's quite good. But the other sort of 80 to 90%, you do have to tweak. You do have to go in and think, as a human, would that grab my attention straight away? And then, of course, the visual side, it can get a little bit crazy with that. So just a test that I definitely recommend running is an AI versus a human created piece of content, side by side, or like I mentioned, you could post them either at the exact same time or different times, and actually split test the posting of them each time. Right, I'm just going to run through the chat before we move on to the next topic. So CM Kingdom, I am from Birmingham, UK. I can't say whatever that is. I am not Russian, but hello, how are you? ERFGTDS. No, I don't wear wigs. I'm just bald. Well, shaved, but bald. CM Kingdom, wish you best of luck. Good night. Appreciate that, my friend. Okay, leave. Bye. There's no one else here, so you can shut up. Appreciate it. Nice to meet you, and nice to see you, Lee. Goodbye. Sorry to interrupt, but can I have a shout out? Memes 123. There you go. Everybody go follow Memes 123 and Paper. How'd you get that name, man? Does YouTube block? I'm sure YouTube blocks names. Managing to get Paper's a good one. What's up, dude? How's it going, man? How's it going, Paper? So, Memes 123. Anytime, man. Anytime. I got no problem. As I was saying it, the bow, hi, how's it going? I was saying it a couple before I started moving on to the second topic. I'll say it to you guys now. Look, I find it mad because I used to do podcasts, which was just a live record or just a recording, and then I go through, edit it, post it, and you're not in the chat. Like you respond to the comments later. So I find it quite mental with the lives to be jumping, because I've come up with the structure of what I want to do, so I want to go through that. But then I'm also very conscious of you guys have took time out of your day to watch my live and engage in the chat. So I want to make sure I'm on it with you guys as well. So trying to balance the two is, it proves a little bit sort of all over the place, but we get better, we keep moving, we keep testing, we keep going. So pillar 2, or content topic 2, is go social first. So anybody who's aware of the brand Unilever is fully changing how it works when it comes to making social media the first step and not the last step within its sort of marketing center, and how it's bringing in new customers, new awareness to the brand. And are any of you aware of a brand called Lux that does things like TikTok challenges and that sort of stuff? And I think they had one that went pretty viral. Where has it gone? My First Like. And ultimately what that does is it just gets people talking about the brand. Challenges are huge. Challenges can be a massive, massive thing. And if it's done right and if it's set and if it goes off. If you remember years ago, there was one, the Ice Bucket Challenge, and the brand's name was before it, but I can't remember what it was now, which is bad really. But those types of challenges, those types of talking points are brilliant when it comes to socials. And what you do there is you're engaging with your audience to find what they'd be interested in for, and then running a load of different ideas through that. So almost testing on smaller profiles. So almost if you've got, say, a smaller but more engaging profile on TikTok compared to Instagram or compared to YouTube, you test the ideas there, you see what people are talking about, you find out the conversations. This is why engagement's massive, and people have to focus on the fact that social media starts with social. It starts with understanding your audience, understanding what your ideal client's going to want, your ideal buyer's going to want, what sort of content topics would they be interested in seeing, what sort of, if you've got an offer, what offers are going to attract to them. Is it going to be, things like free lead magnets? Even coming up with lead magnets can be massive, because it's easy to give away free stuff, but it's not so easy to give away free stuff that people want. That's the thing, and people are willing to do an exchange for. So using the social aspect to form your media aspect is how I always like to form it. Speaking to people, finding out if you've got an ideal client, if you've got 100 followers or something like that, and out of those 100 followers, 5 of them are your ideal clients, like you want to sign them all day long. Speak to them, engage with them. If they're engaging with your content, pinpoint, okay, what content was it that they were engaging with? Why did they engage with it? What did they engage with? Did they just like it? Did they share it? Did they comment on it? If they commented, did they ask a question? Was there another insight that you could have dropped there? Can you form more content from how they've engaged with it? Metrics and everything like that, and view rate and response times and retention times and all that sort of stuff are fine. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't track them, and if anything, I'd say track those at least weekly on whatever platform it is you're targeting. If you're targeting multiple platforms, I'd probably say 2 weeks, just so you don't overwhelm yourself with the review. I know when I review my accounts and then my clients' accounts, it gets completely overwhelming because there's just so much data and so much analytics, and then trying to pinpoint each one. But the big metric you want to be looking at is engagement. Engagement from ideal clients. This is what I will say. So this might take a little bit longer to scan through, depending on how big your accounts are, dependent on how often you're posting. But if you notice that one post gets 100% of the people that engage could be a potential customer, could be a potential client here. What was that piece of, and break that piece of content down. This, again, another strategy I'd always recommend when you're starting out is just volume. Sheer volume and variety and testing will give you so much data, because there is quite literally endless amounts of content that you can make. You can make endless amounts of content, because how many words are there in the Oxford Dictionary? Millions, I'd say, at least. They're all different ways you can start the content. There's endless ways you can start content. So for every piece of content that you create that doesn't perform well, you've ticked that off. You don't make a video exactly like that again. You don't make it with the exact same hook, the exact same music, the exact same place. Look, you have crossed that off your list. So anybody that makes one piece of content and then makes another piece of content the exact same, which is pretty hard, let's be honest, because you're going to have a different cadence with how you're speaking, you might be in a different background, different scenery, that sort of thing. But anybody that tries to do that and it's not performed, you're literally wasting your time. That's the only time I would personally think you're wasting time making content, is when you're doing something the exact same. You want to be mixing it up. You want to be... Now, again, there's multiple things that you can mix up whilst creating. So say you do talking head videos, so a lot more content I am here talking to you guys. The main reason for that is because I want to develop that relationship. I want to get better at speaking in front of the camera. As you can see, it's not the easiest. Can you blast some songs? I've got to do it. Nah, I don't think I can do songs, because I'm sure you get done for copyright. And also, look, if a banger comes on, I'll end up dancing around to it, and you don't want to see me dance. So, but so back to the content strategy, sorry. You want to be making sure that you are fully testing different things. And funnily enough, that moves us on to the third topic, which is testing. So it was Hootsuite basically says that brands that keep testing new ideas, testing new styles, new hooks, new captions, new formats every single week, doing short clips, doing quick stories, new sounds, they're the ones that are seeing the most growth. There was a statistic on the top 0.1%, or it might have been the top 1% of meta ads have created 11 times more, have tested 11 times more creative. They're the top, I can't remember if it was 1% or 10%, but either way, you're making big money. And it's through testing, because what a lot of people tend to do when it comes to ads is they'll start one idea here and another idea here, and they're on completely different ends of the spectrum. How's it going, Sydney? Whereas what you really want to be looking at is testing little aspects. So you could record a video, for example, but you could split test 2 simple hooks. So I'm very good, thank you. And that's it. And then you run that ad for 7 days and you see that, oh, okay, this one did better. Now, it might not have converted, but it did better. So then, okay, you think, all right, we've done all right there, but the retention's off. So now we need to split test another hook, but we can keep the body of the video. And little tiny implementations every single step of the way, rather than these big one end of the spectrum, this one, the other end of the spectrum. And that's another thing that you can also do. Just doing this live, Sydney, jumping on this live, and then I've got plenty of work and scheduling and a bit of food to have as well. So, and that's how content should be. It is a massive formula game. It's a massive testing game. It's just jumping. It's trying to work out what works. It's trying to find out the content type that you want to make, and then the content type that resonates the best with your target audience. And that's a big thing. That's one big thing I will say, is because people focus so much on views, not realizing that certain views are worth more than other views. So for example, if I make a video and I'll get 1 million views, I make a meme and I get 1 million views, those buyers, people will argue and say, like, oh, well, a 1% conversion rate. If people are consuming memes and that's all you've got on your page, it's going to be very difficult for them to take your brand seriously and want to make that purchase, for them to take that conversion, because then they've still got to go for the rest of your content. And if the only content you've got is memes, it's difficult for them to approve buying. Now, you still might get a few, whereas if you've got 10,000 views, but these 10,000 views are of literally a direct pitch of your offer, and your offer is to dentists, and 50% of these people are dentists, so you've got 5,000 dentists in the market for your offer who've just viewed your video. That 4,000 views, I guarantee, you know, compared to the 1 million views you would have got on a meme, is way more lucrative. There is much more money-making opportunity with that smaller piece of content in terms of the views and attention than the wider piece of content. Now, I'm not saying this doesn't have its place. I'm not saying 1 million views, 10 million views, whatever million views hasn't got its place. But it's got to be a balancing act, and you've got to know what you're tracking and what your intention is with that piece of content. Because this is a big thing that I notice with a lot of my clients, is it's the intention of posting. What was this post for? I don't know. You've got to know. When you're making the piece of content, are you trying to get more attention? So I don't personally recommend memes being pumped out all the time, but it depends on how much content you're pumping out. So I'll probably post a meme in every 8 to 12 pieces of content, but I'm literally posting 4 pieces of content a day. That's just video form. If you take into account written form, it's like 100 plus pieces of content every day. So there's more leeway there to test it. Memes can have their place, especially if, again, they resonate with your target audience, you know, things like text overlays, that sort of stuff. They can all be classed as what we call top of funnel. So that would be top of funnel content. You can test that out to find what gets you the most amount of views, because that's going to bring you in the most amount of attention. And then you set that in stone then, and you think, okay, that's top of funnel locked in. Now we need middle of funnel, now we need bottom of funnel, and then you could move on to ads as well. So there's multiple ways for you to do this. I did not realise the time I've got on so far. So I'm going to wrap this up. So ultimately, here's just a quick sort of equation that you can remember when you're creating your content and the tools that you can use. So AI will bring you speed, humans will bring you heart, socials will bring you the connection, and then testing will bring you growth. So just a couple of things. AI, of course, everybody knows the speed that AI can implement things is ridiculous. And this is why I say it's worth using, even if it's just a brainstorm. If anybody's got ChatGPT Plus, you can talk to it. I'll talk to it probably a minimum like 30 minutes every single day just to ramble off. Sometimes it's just a diary, sometimes it's just ideas, sometimes I ask it to be a pushback model and sort of put me back in my place a little bit and say, shush, like, stop getting carried away. You need to do this, this, and this first, and then we can test this later. So sometimes it's good for grounding, but it is fast. It is instant. I don't have to wait for my mentor. I don't have to wait for my friends to be available. I can just go, right, AI, act as this person, this person, this person, this person. Here's my idea. What do you think? Boom, done. Human heart. We're all different, of course we are. We all range in different ways, and I might find one thing funny, you might find it completely different. But all in all, a sad thing to one person is going to be, on some sort of scale, relatively sad to another person. We can sense the emotion that's going to be behind a piece of content or a talking point or a story. Using your heart when creating your content to gauge how other people are going to feel and test how other people are going to feel is going to be massive. And then you combine that with the speed of AI. Social's connection. This is what I always say to people. Most people forget about the social aspect of social media. They're happy to post the content, happy to consume the content, but they forget that the whole point of it is to interact with other people, is to speak to other people, is to build those connections. And whether it's for monetization or whether it's just genuinely to connect with people online, it's still worth keeping it in there. And then finally, of course, you've got testing for growth, which is relatively self-explanatory, and I have gone into it a little bit earlier on in the live, but you just test. If you have an idea, speak to AI, there's your speed. Then look at it from your lens and think, how would that make me feel? There's your heart, there's your connection. Then post it, see what the engagement is. See if you get any engagement at all, whether you get minor engagement, small engagement. If you do get engagement, engage back. If somebody comments on a video saying this is crap, ask them. Oh, they'll probably say this is crap, swipe off, and you'll never speak to them again. But if you can ask them why, and they can give you a relatively decent answer, or you can show your friends better yet, and they can give you a decent answer, there you're getting your connection. There you're starting to test and figure out what connects with my audience that I want them to. My favourite horror character. I hate horrors. And I don't necessarily have a favourite. I think the coolest one for me is the one from Halloween. Is it Jason? I like him. He's just like Batman. Because he just turns up. He's just nowhere. You think you're safe, boom. He's in front of you and he's hanging you on like coat hooks and that. But yeah, horrors. I'm not a proper horror. I watched one years ago called The Terrifier. And it's pretty valid total. Nah, not a road man. He's just a bad man. There's just no way about it. If I saw somebody dressed as him in the street on my own, damn. What? Confusing me now, bro. What about yours, Mr. Handsome Squid? Who's your favourite horror character? Alex Murphy, hello, are you Polish? Your English very, very good. Nah, I'm English, bro. My Polish is terrible. I promise you that. My Polish, I think if I'm being completely honest, I only know swear words, they're curse words. Jason Voorhees. Is that the one I'm on about? Is that the bloke from Halloween? The one with the... I say the one with the mask, like they don't all wear masks, but is that the same bloke, the one from Halloween? It is Jason, isn't it? Yeah. Have you seen the newest one, where she's a bit older? That was quite good. But yeah, I'm not a huge horror fan. No, not seen it. They're good. Do you prefer the older ones though? So I was talking about social media, but this is the wrap up part. So this is the part where I get a little bit free flow with everything. So I've wrapped it up. So use AI to be fast. Use your own human connection to see the heart. Use social to make the connection, and then just test everything. So this is usually the part where I sit here for about 5 minutes and just chat to you guys because it's fun. What are you talking about? Yep, that's the one called. I'm in England too, Manchester. Yes, Alex in Manchester. I'm from Birmingham, my man. Yeah, Birmingham based, mate, or Brum, whatever you want to call it. But Manchester, blue or red, Alex? Which side? What one you on? And yeah, celebrity gameplay. So yeah, this is just more I say the fun side. I enjoy doing these things anyway because they're a good way for us to build up skills speaking in front of the camera. It allows me to sort of educate myself further, learn a little bit further with what I'm talking about, and then just engage with anybody that takes the time to watch a bit of my content, because you know you've got 20 million videos being posted today, and respectively, you've chose to watch mine, so I appreciate that. That's what I always try and say to people. Like, I'm very much aware that there's tons and tons of content out there. Not too far, and I'm a red. You Birmingham City. Nah! Birmingham City. Oh, God. I don't know, man, you. I don't know. I like you, Alex, but I don't know, man, you. I'm Aston Villa, I am. So, if you remember the last game of the season, like, just gone, you'll know why I don't know, because and he's tried to take Martinez off us, which I wasn't happy about either. But yeah, I'm Aston Villa through and through. Yeah, big. I used to be a massive football fan to be. I used to be a massive football fan, to be honest, and I mean massive. Like, I followed the Villa everywhere. Went to Wembley a couple of times. Went up and down the country, sort of thing. I used to follow them like mental, and then I obviously started getting into like the online business space, making a bit of money, and yeah, just don't really. I'm lucky in a sense because one of my clients is actually a Villa podcaster, so I get to keep up with the Villa that's also related to my business. Do I like both? I'm gonna be the dumb one here. What's bofa? Buffer. Big Dog 24. What's bofa? I ain't got a Scooby what that is, my friend. You let me know. I'll be here for the next 3 minutes. Yeah, 3 minutes. These have gotten longer. These used to starting to click the Villa. Done well under mine. Yeah, man. Don't get me wrong. I'm like every football fan. I kick off the second we start losing. We're all like it. Do you know what I mean? All football fans are the same. When we're doing well, Emery's the best thing ever. When we're doing bad, Emery's the worst thing ever. So I'm under no illusion like we're gonna come back good. It's just difficult because we went from like being terrible under Gerrard to Emery like taking us all the way to the top, like literally Champions League quarterfinals. I think it was might have been semis. I can't remember now. You know, taking us all the way to there, and now like, we've got off to this season and we've got like 9 points out of 7 games or something. So it's just difficult, isn't it? It's just a difficult one. But yeah, I'm never one of them. Like, I'll back Emery until the day is gone. I think he's brilliant. But as I mentioned, I don't watch too much of it now. I used to literally live, eat, breathe football, but now it's all just business, social media, trying to improve my skill, trying to connect with you guys, like just anything. I might just start a football podcast, man, because every time I come onto these, people ask where I'm from, and I say Birmingham. And then 9 times out of 10 it goes to football. But I'm bad as well, because as soon as somebody says to me they're from Manchester, I'm like, what side of Manchester? Or Liverpool, it's like, what side of Liverpool? Showing my age, Lee Hendry. Oh, I remember the name. I remember the name, but I can't put a face to it. Just wanted to say how much I appreciate all the hard work and effort you put into every single video. You deserve 100 million views and subscribers, seriously. 200 wheels on rails. I truly appreciate that comment, my friend, and thank you for, thank you for watching the video, thank you for engaging, and yeah, thank you for your appreciation. Whether I get 100 million views and subscribers, genuinely, that's not my goal with this, but I do appreciate comments like that. It makes it, if I get to chat to you guys for 40 minutes, I said these loads were going to be between 15 and 20 minutes because I didn't want to take up too much of your time. And then I started getting into the chats and I was like, oh, this is sweet. This is like, I got my laptop's here, like working off in the background doing its thing. I get to sit here, coffee, speak to you guys about whatever you guys want to speak to about. This is mint, loads of mint. lives are cool. I don't see a problem with lives. I think they're all right. Do you know what I mean? So, and like I say, in terms of views and stuff like that, we get to where we get to, mate. I just promise you one thing. I won't stop doing these. They'll be posted 2 times a week, regardless. Because if I say something, I do it. And then Alex 90s to noughties he was. Yeah, so I'm late 90s. I am. I'm a late 90s baby. Oh, I appreciate that, Alex. Thank you, man. You don't have to, but I do appreciate that, my friend. And I'm Callum, by the way. I should probably say that every couple of minutes, shouldn't I? You know, look, when I see the followers go up, should be like, I'm Callum, and then just go about or have a little sign. But yeah, I'm Callum. I run CR Socials, which is a social media marketing business for local businesses, online brands, personal brands. T's and C's apply. You know, I always think I'm funny. And then I watch these lives later, and then I realise I'm not that funny because when I make a joke, the views just go. But yeah, I'm Callum. Alex is basically the short answer to that long-winded one for some reason that I decided to go on. But yeah, I used to say, oh, these will be, like I say, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 25 minutes, don't want to take up too much time. And now I'm sitting there at 41 minutes chatting doo-doo. So I ain't going to take up, wait there. Because I can't leave people, I'm ready. Either if you've took the time to write it, I want to take the time to engage. So 1986, mate. Nice to meet you, Callum. Respect on having your own business. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate that. I appreciate your... Yeah, I appreciate you liking, subscribing. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you commenting. I appreciate anybody that watches this later, that's watched this now, and that watches this in the future. No, you'd watch it later, but I screwed that up. So,